Everybody to tell the truth, Sports Radio. I'm your host, Rob Fitz. I'm gonna tell you the truth about the why Houston lost to Florida and the Malone firing, which is just that's just rough. I'm just shocked at that. But I do want to talk about the Mike Malone firing. I want to talk about Houston and Florida first. Houston played the best defense I've ever seen against Florida this year. They double teamed Clayton. Everything worked in their favor except the bricklaying all game long. Every time they're on the verge of really opening up this game to like 17, they laid bricks, and Florida was able to Condon was score inside. As Clayton was struggling, he did a good job. He had 7 assists. So he turned the ball over a lot now, but he was able to. Martin scored, and Will Rickard was fantastic. Will Richard was fantastic. He kept him in the game. He had 18 points, and he held up his bargain. But it was just a very low scoring rock fight kind of game. But Houston needed more than just LJ Cryer. He played good. LJ Cryer was solid with 19 points, but he needed more. And they were up 42-30, and they could have been up more. The final 33-23 run. No, it was actually 33. Yes, it was 30. It might have been 33-23 run at the end from Florida was the product of Houston constantly throwing up bricks. Bad shot after a great defensive possession. It was wasted. All their defensive heart and hustle, double teaming Clayton, getting after him, really getting under and stopping the Florida's super efficient offense. Florida was able to just kind of hang in, make enough points to hang around 10, 8, 12. But that final run, that final push, once Florida was even, they were leaving. And once they got the lead late, that was that was a wrap because Houston never really executed well toward the end. And once Elijah Martin hit the second free throw, that was bad. And they didn't even. There were 2 possessions where they fumbled the ball around at the end and didn't even get Houston didn't even get shots off. And Sharp was bad. Sharp was very, very bad. He made one shot late, but he was just 3 of 11, and he some of those shots weren't even close. He was shooting 1 of 17 from three, and the reason why I say they were throwing up bricks because they were just slamming off the backboard. It just like they hadn't shot or practiced at all the way they were shooting. Roberts played okay inside, but he didn't get enough looks inside to be a factor. They weren't patient enough to go inside. I'd have went inside to Roberts all game long because now maybe you get a bigger lead and then Sharp could relax and Uzan, he was 2 of 9, 0 4 from three. He did maybe shot better. It was just bad. The one guy who did, I thought played well was Javier Francis. He had 8 points. That was solid. But Cryer needed help. And that was enough because Florida was a better team. And you were ahead by 12 on the better team. And you can't, there's no margin of error. And there was errors and mistakes and bad shot. Bad shot. Now Florida kind of, Clayton kind of gets in it a little bit, scores an and one. He didn't really go off from the outside, but they did what they had to do. This was a game Houston lost. Florida was a better team, but Houston lost this game. I feel terrible for Calvin Sims. Great job by Florida, and that's their third national championship, and they're going to be around. They are going to be around. The problem is for Houston. I wonder if this was their best chance. Poor Houston. You wonder if they'll ever, in throughout the whole course of time, ever win a national championship. I just wonder maybe they're just one of those teams that are just never going to ever win a national championship. Even with Kelvin Sampson there. I just felt sad. I want him to get that ring. I want in 204. I want Bayham to get the ring. Roy Williams, 05. I want Roy Williams to get it. He got it. It's hard to get him because look at all the time. Coach K won a lot, but he lost a lot more big time games, bad losses, collapse at the end. But he did win enough. He won his national championships. Um, it's hard to. Look, Bill Self blow throws away games, losing bad losses, but they got two national championships. And my guy Calipari, that loss, that Arkansas loss to Texas Tech, still that has angers me so much because they had a 16-point lead they blew. It wasn't meant to be. Congratulations to the Florida Gators. It was not a Florida Gator kind of game. They had to go into the trenches the second half. They're a little more physical, almost too physical early, but they rebounded. They took away all the offensive rebounds that Houston usually gets off their bricks. And now Houston's throwing the bricks that are getting rebounded by Florida. Now the deficit changes. And now you're able to just shut that faucet off of rebounds, offensive rebounds. And with about 2 minutes left, 4 minutes left, even with the lead, I said Houston's going to lose this game because they didn't get enough of a flow to stabilize it. I knew eventually Florida was going to execute. And they don't miss free throws. So that's huge. Now, Michael Malone getting fired from the Denver Nuggets. That makes no sense. I understand they want to get rid of Booth. Bad decision making. Couldn't keep KCP. I would have kept him instead of Westbrook because Westbrook's a low IQ athletic superstar. But you can't win with him. When KCP left the Lakers and they got Westbrook, I was like, no, this is not going to work. And he just doesn't fit anywhere. He fit with the Wizards because he was a guy and you just let him just average a triple-double with minimal talent, just turn him loose. He's better with that. Not with a team with stars. He just can't. Poor guy. He plays hard, but he just don't have the IQ to kind of blend in, and not with a high IQ kind of offense that Malone runs. It cost him. That missed layup and dumb foul in that one game against Minnesota that cost Joker. Joker had 61 points. It was just bad. I wonder how Joker feels. Because I know there was issues, Malone and Booth, but still, you don't fire a coach that won. And they blew two 20-point leads against Minnesota. And that Boston I would have Anthony Edwards to thank for their title because Denver was going to repeat. That was one team Boston couldn't beat. But right after that, I knew Boston was going to win the championship when Minnesota won, and they were going to play Dallas. I didn't think neither of those teams were going to beat Boston. But now, going into the playoffs, you're the 4 seed, I would have waited. And if they got eliminated in the first round, he's fired, okay. But I just don't understand it. Joker, this better work. If this don't work, and now you're most loyal superstar wants out, that's dangerous. And another thing, now Taylor Jenkins, I don't know if he's going to get the job. Malone's going to get a job real fast. Real fast. Because he did a good job with Denver. He runs a high IQ offense. He believes in the team. He's a little rougher on the edges, hardcore. But if you think you're one coach away from a championship, you go grab him. Malone's going to be hired fast. So don't feel too sorry for him. But I got an issue with that. And the NBA players are going to be great. I'm going to have fun doing shows. I'm going to do a college basketball recap with Gene Smith. He's trying to get Michael Graham, which I've wanted to interview for years. And I hope that works out.